Welcome, one and all, to the mystical world of Filbar. Adventures abound throughout this realm, and we appreciate the opportunity to regale you with some stories from these trails. These accounts are all based on actual RPG experiences that occurred within Adventures in Filbar. Some of these tales may be for mature audiences, while others may be for very immature audiences. We now present the sage Mikas Tumo from Tamel, also known as the Bard of Filbar.
Welcome to session Fartook-116. The last time we were with our heroes, they discovered that Cabe was missing. Clues led them to the dock, where a ship called the Folly was attempting to quickly exit the area despite requests to hold for questioning. Cabe smashed through the container he was being held in, and the rest of the group spotted the disturbance. Quickly thinking by Lady Irena led her to using the web spell, and the vessel ended up being slung into the shoreline. A brief fight and the appearance of the guards aided in the rescue of their compatriot. Additional noises have led the group to discovering 6 other prisoners, which is where we rejoin the group. Bulger quickly ran back to the ship after retrieving food and water from the proprietor of the Pelican's Pit. He and the young woman helped to give the former prisoners sustenance. Sister Elaine questioned the individuals, who each retold similar stories as Cabe had explained to them initially. It was determined that of the 6, 4 had been slaves aboard the craft for a month, but the other 2 were recent detainees. None of the 6 were from Haddonfield and had been picked up along coastal towns. Henrik, an outspoken individual, had served the longest on board the ship. He explained that the 2 men, named Gable and Hauser, were small-time slavers, but were very crafty. When we were out to sea and couldn't escape, they would unbox us and chain us down to the ship, he stated. Pointing out the various bull rings on the vessel, he explained that whenever they were free, they could only move a short distance. Once we got close to shore, the 2 would beat us into submission and place us back into the boxes. Since I've been aboard the Folly, we've had maybe 16 or so slaves. When they grow tired of us, or can find a good price, they sell us off. The man was peppered with questions that ended when the captain of the guard boarded the ship. He asked for an explanation, and Sister Elaine filled him in with the details. The captain confirmed that the men would stand trial and everyone involved was expected to be present. Fargus balked at the suggestion and asked when the trial would be. The answer was tomorrow at noon, which caused the group some consternation. Looking to Bulger, Cabe asked him what time the ship was due to sail in Phoenix, but the gnome did not know. The watch commander could not provide an answer and pointed out that he did not care about the ship. The party would be present at the trial, or they would have warrants served upon them. With that statement, the man spun around and followed his guards as the prisoners were removed from the area. The 6 hostages and party of 5 all looked at each other. Noting the physical hardships each hostage had underwent, the party suggested that they find rooms, but were told the individuals were broke and had no money. A shout of happiness was heard from within the small cabin on the boat, and a cheerful Bulger exited holding a small iron box jingling with coins. Jubilant, he held the box aloft and announced that they were rich. Seeing the depression weighing on the former slaves and the concerned looks of the associates, Bulger jingled the box again and then realized it was blood money from slavery. Thinking quickly, the former sailor tossed the box down to the captives and advised that they were rich. A female named Tonya had shook her head and stated that she did not want any of the ill-gotten coins. Lady Irena stepped up and pointed out that the group, while the money was tainted with evil, it was now time to put to good use. The former slaves nodded in agreement, and the box was opened to reveal silver, not gold coins. Still more than enough to help the former prisoners, it was divided equally among them. Fargus and Lady Irena opted to take the group over to Clough's Inn, where the women had found lodging. There were several rooms that were opening up, and the group would need to get situated to their new lives. Bulger, Cabe, and Sister Elaine opted to scour the boat for more clues while the dockmaster approached them. The trio was informed that the boat could not remain in the harbor without paying the fees. The bard and cleric pointed out that they did not own the vessel and did not care. Bulger spoke up and asked how much the fees were, and promptly paid them while the pair looked at him puzzled. He waved off the looks, and the dockmaster gave him a seal indicating payment has been done. That brought about a broad smile on the stout gnome. The small craft was examined, stem to stern, and the former sailor identified all the parts to the others, pointing out that the vehicle was a smuggler's ship. Sister Elaine inquired how he knew, but Bulger simply smiled. He continued his recitation on the nomenclature of the vehicle and took them below to a small room. "Now, this is what I don't understand." He pointed to a strange box with levers and ropes leading below and above deck. The gnome sent Cabe up top and began to yell at him as he fiddled with the dials and levers. For each item he pulled, he received information from the half-elf above deck. Puzzled, Sister Elaine looked out without understanding anything until the gnome uncovered a huge smile. "This is a gnomish-built vessel," he exclaimed proudly. A nonplussed look continued to linger on the cleric's face, and Bulger realized that the significance was lost on her. Cabe returned, and both were given the news. As a gnomish ship, this vessel doesn't need a full crew. 2 people can pilot this craft successfully once they understand how it works. Jumping up and down with excitement, the pair looked at him quizzically. He pointed out that this boat was worth a small fortune. Recognition fell over the pair's faces, and they nodded in glee. "Ah, that is why you paid the dock fees," murmured the bard, as Bulger confirmed it with a shake of his head. The former sailor continued and pointed out that as a smuggler's ship, there was bound to be several secret compartments that have gone unnoticed so far. "Who knows what we'll find?" gleefully exclaimed, as he rubbed his hands together. The trio decided to free the vessel from the beaching it had sustained and used the poles that the slavers had used to push it back towards one of the empty docks. Once completed, Bulger sent the other 2 to catch up, as he wanted to investigate the boat further. Content with going back on land, the cleric and bard headed back to Clef's Inn to check on Fargus and Lady Irena. Arriving at the business, the pair met up with their associates and learned that lodging had been obtained for the former slaves, but they had nothing other than the silver coins to their name. The quartet opted to go clothes shopping for the refugees, as they were apparently stuck in town until tomorrow's trial. Lady Irena turned to Cabe and pointed out that she felt catching the boat to Phoenix was going to be delayed, and they would probably be stuck for several more days in Haddonfield.
We close out this episode now and give you our thanks for listening. Please subscribe to this podcast, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at The Bards Podcast. For everyone in Adventures of Filbar, thanks for listening.